So welcome everybody. Glad you're here. And Barry went to AES and he's going to give us a pretty interesting, he gave me a preview yesterday, post AES wrap up. So take it away, Barry.
Okay, great. Let me share the first screen. Okay, so it's easier for me to do it this way. PowerPoint, the pictures took a big hit in quality. They got darker and funky, so I'm just going to do it this way, if you don't mind. Here you go. Okay, so what happened here? Is it working yet? Oh, are you seeing the MBox there? You should.
Yeah, got it.
Okay, good. All right, so this is Avid's new MBox. It was quite the popular item at the show. This is a big, heavy box. The next picture, you can get an idea, but just looking at the front here, you see you have two mic jacks. You can have two different headphone mixes, and you have a instrument reamp jack. Let's see here. Let me go down to the next. So this is the back of it. It's kind of like when you buy a food, you look at the label. So audio engineer is going to look at the back panel, but this is a 21 in and out interface, and they seem to have thought of everything. You have 4 mic preamps. You have a variable impedance insert points. In other words, you can insert a guitar pedal if you want. You have 4 line level extra. You have effects loops. You have a 2-way simultaneous stereo Bluetooth I/O, optical I/O, 8-channel ADAT, 2-channel SPDIF, coaxial SPDIF, and then those MIDI jacks, old school DIN jacks. Excuse me. So I think they really tried to kind of think of everything. 2496, you can do 176.4 or 192, but with reduced channel count, which is usual. Let's go to another. Here's another picture. This one is not lit up. They only had 2 of them. I would say in general, the amount of information and product at the show was pretty minimal. It was like they rushed to get out the door to make it. But you see, you have foot switches. You have a bunch of variable impedance switching for mics and instruments. You can monitor with a studio monitor control. It comes with software for the mixer, for the headphone mixer, separate piece of software. This unit comes with what they call the ignition pack, which is Pro Tools, Sibelius, Artis, Celemoni Melodyne 5. You get SoundFlow Cloud Avid edition. Avid bought SoundFlow, so now you get that in it. And you can do low latency tracking. So I think they really tried to step up to a new game here. I was surprised to see this. It's $8.99, I believe, is the retail for this. Not bad, huh? Okay, and questions? People should ask questions as they go, I think. So anyway, it is designed to work with, you can use it with Pro Tools Carbon. This is a Carbon rack. The top unit is the Carbon unit, and then now you can add what they call Carbon Pre. A Carbon Pre is like an expansion chassis, if you will, for Carbon. So with Carbon and 2 of these Pre's, you can have 24 channels of mic line inputs. It comes with 8-channel mic input, and they all, these boxes all have half of an HDX card inside of them. I don't know if you guys know that. So anyway, you can add these things, or you can add this to an HDX rig, I believe. So Avid has been doing a lot of work, so that's kind of a cool unit. The 1U space is kind of cool.
How much for the other half of the HDX card?
You know, I heard a rumor. Don't quote me, but I heard a rumor from a pretty credible source, and I didn't ask Avid proper, but words to the effect that they're going to discontinue the HDX card, and I don't think that's going to happen because of post production work. Anyway,
I got a question, Barry.
yeah, go ahead. Who's that? Oh yeah, hey, go ahead. I see you, Mark.
Oh, I got to turn it on. I apologize for coming in late, so I might have missed it if you covered it. But on the on the MBox, you said low latency tracking.
Yeah.
How low latency?
Well, that's something you're going to have to discuss with them. I don't think it's as low as HDX.
Well, of course not.
But you can do input monitoring. So you can monitor stuff that way. So
On the box, there's a hardware.
Well, that's just configuration.
Yeah.
So those line inputs, that could be another mixer that you're listening to live.
Right. Oh, right.
So
yeah. Okay.
Okay. So all right, another big entry or excitement was around SSL. The SSL booth was right at the front door when you walked in. After trying to get through the line, they had a big snafu. The whole front hall of Javits, as you're familiar with that place, was full of people. Couldn't get in because they didn't have all that together. It took me. I'm a member of the press. I usually have a pass waiting and just walk in. No way, Jose. It took me about a half hour and some heavy persuasion. Anyway, this is the new Origin 16. Let's get some more pictures. This is one configuration. There's another picture of it. This section over here is a 19-inch rack panel. I think I have a picture like that, but 52 channels to mix. If you count all the reverb returns and the small faders, 51 or 2 channels to mix down.
What does it sound like?
Well, it's going to sound like an SSL.
Right.
Listen, by the way, I don't listen to any of this stuff at the show. For me, it's a waste of time. What are you going to hear over all the noise, roar, and in some Spotify stream? Come on. No, this is something that you have to get in front of you. The price is right. You have fully balanced electronic. Everything is fully balanced electronics, bar graph meters. This section here is 19 inches, as I said, so you can pop whatever gear you want in this space. What else? They have what they call a pure drive microphone preamp. Goes from ultra clean to overdriven. That's something that's sort of in the previous SSLs. They are using, this is kind of cool, they are using what they call the 242 type 4-band parametric channel EQ from the E series. So that's kind of nice. And you have plus you have a side chain access and a high pass filter. 16 mono inline channels, 16 track buses, 8 stereo subgroups. Yeah, total of 56 inputs. 56 inputs to mix down. You can, the insert points are balanced. You can insert either in the large or small fader path, which is pretty nice. And they all, and direct channel outputs on all 16. So $39.99, and one could be in your world. Okay, so this is something also the SSL booth. This is a plug-in, and I have this now. They sent it to me. This is the what they call 4KB, which is from what they call one of the rarest recording consoles in the world, the SL 4000B series. There's only 6 of them ever built. Record Plant LA had one, and I remember it. I remember using it. And these boards came out in 1976 at London's Townhouse. And anyway, this is the software, obviously, plug-in that they're just came out with. I haven't really gotten into it yet, but this is what it looks like. Can you see that all right?
What does it do?
Well, you got high and
sorry,
low
it's
pass
very dark
filter,
here.
you have an equalizer here, you have a compressor over here, you have a gate over here. It's a channel strip from an SSL board.
Okay.
So that's it definitely you know, the brown knob EQ. I don't know if you remember that. Although they didn't make them brown on this particular version, but it's that. You have a de-esser mode. Oop. So I guess I'm moving on to the next product, which is Audio-Technica's. It's called an AT2020 USB X cardioid. They really wanted me to have this in this wrap up. They really pushed it for. This is a podcast mic. You have a USB interface built into this thing. You plug a mic into there and you can do your podcast right from the same mic. You have volume control, and this button right here is a touch sensitive mute button. It's not like a switch where where you physically moves. You just wave your finger over it and it mutes the audio.
Cough button.
Mute.
Yeah, that's something that most of those mics miss, is that you need a cough button.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. And I mean, I'm using Shure's version of it, but I use it it has an XLR connector coming out of the bottom. So I use that part of it, but it doesn't have anything like that. It has all that other stuff. All right, next picture. So it's worth noting. The next picture is going to blow everyone's mind. Look at this. Now, a lot of people don't realize that Audio-Technica makes stuff for a lot of different companies that put their badge on it. What's coming next year in the 2024 Grand Prix season and other events like that is this mic they're going to start placing these mics around the course. This is an 8-channel ambisonic microphone, and it's small. I mean, each one of those mic stems sticking out is only about maybe 5 inches long. So you can see the 8 connectors coming out of there. And so at the Dorna Sports Barcelona, Spain facility, they have a control room. It's planned to be through 2024 will include custom built 714-514 dedicated audio control room to mix immersive audio received from the track in real time. So these mics will be at the podium, at the Parc Fermé, the pit lane, key positions around the racetrack. So that should be pretty far out to experience that in whatever surround you have. It's 8 12-millimeter elements. You can be removed from the core, from the center. You can unscrew them or something. Anyway, they had one there, and I just was fascinated by that thing. All color coded. Obviously, you're going to need to know what to plug into what. So
There's a version of that is used by the Army called Firefinder, and it was deployed in Iraq for finding snipers. And they would put these things you could drop them from the air, and they would land, and then transmit back the location of sound. So if somebody was shooting from a tower or something like that, with 2 of those mics, they could zero in on it within about 10 seconds.
yeah,
And it looked exactly like that.
and they get the GPS of that location, and guess what's coming next?
Yeah.
So anyway, they obviously didn't have one of these hooked up that I could listen to it, because as you can see, it's unplugged. Anyway, next show, I can tell you what I felt about this show being so small as it was in the NAB there. And I can tell you that the April NAM show is going to be epic. It's going to be epic. I mean, think about it. All the companies that didn't go to this show because 2 days is expensive to do a show for only 2 days. So the AES did the best they could with programs and on-site seminars and whatnot upstairs in the, around the, but it was pretty weak in that respect. So anyway, look forward to the April NAM show. Next is AES this is the new AES headphones. These are the MM500s, which is Manny America signature headphones. Everybody's been waiting a long time for these things. They're much flatter. I have a pair of LCDXs, which I find kind of heavy on my head. These are much lighter and they're also flatter. And these are headphones. Get another picture. So these are planar magnetic headphones, open air. So there's a disc of Mylar with a printed circuit embedded in it. And these things just sound amazing, really do. Another picture. And they're not as heavy. Right there in this picture, you can see the closed back ones, which don't sound as good, but they're closed back.
What's the price?
$1,700. Yeah, well, look, how much do you pay for a pair of like Genelex or PMC speakers? Anyway.
At least they have wired plugs so that when those itty bitty little wires go out, you can fix it.
Oh yeah, these are mini Canon connectors or XLR. Sorry, Canon's not used anymore. That's what these are. I love them.
When I heard them at NAM, they actually sounded really good.
Did you hear Manny's, this pair?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were really good. Manny was showing them off that afternoon. So went down to see them, and maybe we should have them on in January talking about them.
Sure.
But they were really good.
The phones will actually kind of be more available by then. I guess they have, like everyone else, supply issues. But they're mostly made in California, so I don't know exactly what happened. But anyway, they were there and saw them. I've had several pairs of their products, and I have a pair of their in-ear, they call them Euclids. And I, believe it or not, embarrassed to say, I lost them in Times Square. What are you going to do? I don't know what happened, but I called them and they're going to help me out. So this is kind of a cool product. This is a remote control tube preamp. So let's hear about this. Made by a company called Tubes, number 2 UBES. Anyway, you can, funny name, but it's a push-pull microphone preamp designed with vacuum tube recording console. It like was used in old tube consoles. So you have as a microcontroller, and you can control it via Wi-Fi. I assume probably over your phone. You have 2 modes, clean and glow modes, and it's they're triode tubes, push-pull. And you can see that I asked him, I said, I don't know if I'd like to have these tubes sticking out of there. I think they should be mounted sideways. That's kind of, to me, I don't know. This is a motorized pot here. And when you, let's go down to the next, let's go down to here. Here's the software. So when you run that fader up and down on your computer or your phone, it changes that knob right there turns. Kind of cool. And it's got all the usual settings that you would need for for a mic pre. I don't have a price on it. I don't imagine they're cheap. See if I have one. No. It's made in America. So somebody, I think somebody on Facebook asked, why would you want to do this? Well, because you can have a line level signal coming if you have a long run, like for remotes. Wouldn't it be nice instead of running mic cables a couple of 100 feet to run a line level? Yes. Okay, next. Another picture. Neumann had a new speaker called a KH150, and I think they want to send me a pair. That is a 6.5-inch woofer, so that'll scale the size of the speaker. But it sounded pretty nice for only a 6.5-inch woof, and it has all the kit, the digital kit inside to have it integrate into their automated monitoring alignment system. This is a 145 watt speaker that goes down to 39 hertz. So Neumann prides themselves on the linear, very linear speaker for that small. They're $17.50 each retail, if you're interested. Next, I'm showing there you go. A lot of interest around this. I'm going to do a review for Mix Magazine. However, there's only one of these microphones in the country, and you're looking at it in that picture. They're only going to make 25 a month. This is the M49V. It is a reissue of the last revision C, but they changed the AC701 to AC701K, which is the last version of that tube. It's the same circuit as a 49C, but you can imagine it's lower noise because of the tube is lower noise tube. They also kind of got rid of the high frequency interference from Wi-Fi and mobile phones. Apparently that was an issue with an M49. There's an RF proof connector that they got from the M249, which has a shielded connector. It could go on and on, but it has quite a history. And internally, there are switches that they insist that they must be adjusted by somebody at Neumann. They have a high pass frequency can be lowered down to 12 hertz if you require it. The normal is it's a first order at high pass at 30 hertz, but if you need it down to 12, you can get that tweaked. Maybe you want to record some earthquakes or something. Equivalent noise decreased by 3 dB. It's a cardioid only mic. And let me show you some more pictures. I don't know, it's a small picture, but that's the kit, the case with the power supply. Here's the picture, one picture of the power supply. I'm sorry they're so small. That's what Neumann gave me on their website. And there's another picture. So you get all that, of course, when you get the mic. I've got a review scheduled for Mix. Rafa Sardina is going to help me, wanted to help me. He owns 4 M49. I'm not sure if they're C's or B's, and 2 or 4 M50s. And so I thought it would be a cool review to kind of get sort of a summation or surmise the difference between those 4. He would have 4 mics to go between, so that was pretty interesting to me. And he's really into it, and he lives close by. So I'm hoping to do that with Rafa when he gets back from Spain. Neumann also has mic preamps. I don't know if you guys knew that. I didn't really look at these or fart around with them, but there they are. Has a high Z input, pad, all the usual, minus 20 dB. It's like something you'd see in an opera house. I don't know. They look so something. I don't know. Anyway, Neumann mic pre's. I have no idea what they cost. I don't care. Next mic is made by Sanken. Let me get to my. This is called a Sanken Chromatic CUX 100K. This is a supersonic wide range, 3 pattern. So you have omni cardioid. It's a dual capsule mic. So there's, you can see there's 2 capsules there. The top one I think goes out to 100K. And I'm told that these things sound fantastic. They've been out a while, but look at that thing. I mean, so. Let's go to the next. So this is the front of Shure's spectrum analyzer frequency management. Now you can imagine in a wireless environment, every Tom, Dick, and Harry is going to have a wireless mic. This thing scans bands from 174 to 2 gigahertz. So that's going to include cell phones and everything that's in those frequencies, and provide you with some information as to what's going on so you can deal with it. So analog, and you can also listen to digital signals. When I say listen, I mean it'll show up on the front.
Who makes that?
Sure. You can imagine they probably have a lot of need for that in there. It's made by Shure. Here's the back panel, looks like that. As with everything these days, it's all connected, network connected. You got a little USB jack there. It's probably to load software, but otherwise, Cat5 connectors.
Very cool.
Yeah. All right, this is something you're all going to want. I can guarantee you all will want this. How do I know that? This is by Sonox. It's called Listen Hub. This would go on your monitor path. I have it on my master fader, stereo fader. And in addition to reading LUFS and PSR and giving you a little waveform display, you can also solo bands. There's 5 bands. You can solo each one of these to see what's going on. It's like a filter. You can, of course, listen only to the left, only to the right, the size, swap left and right, which sometimes is handy just to check something. But the most important thing about all of this is all over Wi-Fi. This is what's on in Pro Tools, let's say, but on Wi-Fi, you have the same screen. I have the same screen on my iPhone, or if you have an iPad. So you don't have to have this thing open while you're mixing all the time. You can just have your iPad or, like I say, the phone. But the key thing about this thing, let me look at my notes, is you're able to A/B. See how it says plug in? Well, you can have a reference playing. It could be a stream, it could be a WAV file, whatever, and you can check that and you can compare what you're doing with what that is. And the guy at the booth, I didn't care for too much. He was kind of like, you shall not exceed minus 12, it's sort of like, you can tell when you have enough bass or your snare's too loud. I go, so what? He was making all these things sort of like you had to like get in step with the what's going on. The guy really bugged me. Anyway, I got the plug in. So you can channel solo, mono compatibility, stereo width. You have match. You could actually match a loudness to another file and have this thing correct the overall level. You can use short-term loofs. It's 79 bucks. And the app on your phone or whatever is free. It's called Listen Hub. I just thought it was really a cool thing, and it was a very popular booth. Another microphone. This is a new mic from Sonotronics. And the reason why I grabbed this mic, picture of it, and kind of looked at it, it is a stereo figure of, 2 ribbons in there. So let me get to the, it's called Apollo 2. It's a stereo ribbon mic made in England. Hand wound transformer. 2 highly sensitive ribbon motors, XY Blumline. So I love Blumline stereo. I don't know if you guys have ever tried that, but this thing makes it pretty easier to do, all in one mic. You can do it with condensers, of course, but you have to, it's tricky to try to get them lined up correctly. 2,700 bucks. Requires very little gain or EQ. You can get, all those things, all those, EQ is a fix, really, when you think about it. You're fixing something. Right, Paul?
He's on a call.
Yeah. Okay, so next. So stereo ribbon mic. How much is it? 2,700. These are all retail prices, by the way. More microphones. I'm going to show you the new Sonys. So that I get to my chat. Yeah. This is the newest one is called a C80. So it's cardioid only. This and the C100 are all kind of basing their technology on the C800G, which has been reissued, as many of you know. The C800 is cardioid only. It has a shock mount, and it's $499. Less than 500 bucks for a Sony mic. Come on. I didn't hear it. Don't ask me. The C100, next picture. Now this has been out for a little while, but it's a two-way. It has two, I don't know if you can see in this picture, it has 2 capsules in there. So you get 20 to 50 kilohertz response, and you multi-pattern. You have all 3 patterns going on. Usual 10 dB switch, attenuator, low cut filter. $1,399, 1,400 bucks. It do sound great. I did happen to listen to this thing, just my voice on a pair of Sony headphones. Whatever. Sounded good. It's not very big either. That's one thing I liked about both these mics. You can get the idea. This one is pretty small. That's my hand, so it's pretty little. And then this one is not much bigger.
And what's the number on them? It's the C what?
This is called a C100. So it's multi-pattern, dual capsule, double microphone capsules, noise elimination structure, originally employed in the C800G. Apparently they're taking a lot of the technology, and it has a range of 20 hertz to 50 kilohertz. So all metal body, by the way. I should say things like that because it's not necessarily a given anymore. Okay, pretty cool, huh? Okay, there's a company called Sound Particles. It's a sound design company that uses a granular technology. They'll take a single sound, a point source, if you will, and they'll collect them in large groups, and they modify each one of those point source. So you get some very interesting assemblies, they call them. And the guy at the booth who barely spoke English, very thick Eastern European, and I was interested in this. And Alan Meyerson has these as well. He loves them. This is their panners. So this first one is called a brightness panner. It analyzes frequencies of sound and pans them according to a range of frequencies set by the user. It identifies the pitch of the individual notes and pans them in 3D according to a range of pitch values set by the user. Pretty awesome. So you can imagine some weird stuff you could get going with that, especially with a vocal, with singers and lots of vocals and stuff like that. So this is, I don't have it yet, but I would ask Alan Meyerson what he thinks about it. They also make another one called Energy Panner. The Energy Panner uses the intensity of the sound to control its movement. So that could also be pretty interesting. Alan says he's having a ball with this thing, mixing, movie mixing. So, okay, so last thing. When I saw this at the show, I thought it was like a windscreen, and it's not. This is made by a company called Harpax Audio, and it's called a SPC, or space microphone, and it is a beam forming microphone. I'll show you with the thing off. There's 84. Let's just go to the next picture, I think. This is an exploded view of it that they had printed on a piece of cardboard. I didn't have one live, but so it's two halves, and there are 84 MEMS elements. MEMS, I have some measurement mics that use a MEM. A MEM is a micro electromechanical system. It's a printed circuit microphone. So this thing has 84 of them, and there's a USB-C cable that comes out of it, and you use software, and you're able to point this in any direction. And also it's ambisonic, records in ambisonics, third order ambisonics, which is in the same frequency range as human beings. Anyway, you have 84 microphones in this disc. So I think that's, yeah, we're back to that.
What's the practical application for that?
Well, the whole ambisonics 3D, they have I'm going to put some links in the chat. I have some recordings made with this thing, and you'll see. It puts you in the space of the sound. And it's not necessarily where the mic is. It records the entire space.
Is output mono or stereo or?
No, it comes out of a USB-C connector, and you have to run software that will, down convert it to channel audio. So if you're further interested, let me read a little bit more. It's available. You can get one to try out. I'm going to put these links in the chat, and you can go there and check out some of this stuff, what it does. So SPC mic, it's called. It's a beam forming system, and always try to take in something like that. It's full 3-dimensional sound field recording. So with the with the whole Atmos on us and everything else, it's going to be popular. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing.
Very cool, Barry. Anybody have any questions before I jump in with mine? Shocking, no questions.
He's very thorough.
That was awesome, Barry.
He's Mr. Rudolph, of course he is.
Thanks. Let me put this in. Let me get the chat window. The chat's been busy. Oh, look at all this. The name of the Sony mic. It's called a C80 or a C100. They don't call it. They don't have like a person name. Okay, so at Sonox, listen, yeah. Oh, look at that discount. Somebody already put in a discount. Who put that in there? That's awesome.
Joe.
It's worth it. Totally worth it. I mean, come on. Okay, so let me.
Sold.
Yeah,
Cool plugin.
it is a cool plugin. So let me put this bunch of links. So at the end of the chat, you'll see one thing is Michael Boddicker gave me a code that'll get you a discount for all seminars, all concerts and exhibit at Synthplex, which starts right now at the Marriott over at Burbank Airport.
Did you say how much the discount is?
What was that? Les, did you say something? Who?
That was Joel. How much is the discount?
I don't know.
And that starts this weekend?
Right now. It's today, tomorrow, and Saturday. I'll be speaking on a panel on Saturday, I think, 1:00, I think. And I have no idea what I'm doing. But a lot of people have been asking about Grammy stuff, so I put some stuff about the Grammys there if you're interested. There's the links for the SBC mic. You can go there. I think that mic is about $3,000, I think, something like that. But the company, it's German companies, they have a lot of recordings you can check out. They have bands, they have people talking, and mostly to me, at least in stereo, sounds very roomy. But I suppose when it's decoded in what you're working in, it's probably a lot better. So there's some links, Grammy stuff. Updated rules are now 91 categories now in the Grammys. They jumped up some more categories, and how all the voting kind of works. You can learn from those links if you're at all interested. I actually have 2 this time. Tony, you got any in the running? Anybody got anything in the running? Grammy? Nobody? Yeah, I have 2. I'm lucky.
I think I sent it out to most of the people. I've got 2 in there. So yeah.
Awesome.
I will talk to Maureen about getting together post Grammys of this year. So that'll be, it'll be probably March, maybe we'll have her in. So we'll see. Either February, mid-February or March.
After the Grammys, okay.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah.
But we thank y'all for coming down and participating. We love it. So all right.
All right, thank you, Tony. Adios, everybody.
We'll see y'all soon.
Thank you.
Talk to you later.
Thanks, Barry.
A Designs Audio is proud to introduce the Mix Factory, a concept by Tony Shepard and designed by Paul Wolf. This sexy beast will deliver a console sound in a 2RU with gain, pan, and mutes on each channel. This 16-channel summing box has all the analog you've been craving. Each group of 8 features master gain knobs, plus inserts for each group, including the 2-bus master. The Mix Factory allows you to have custom-wound Cinemac transformers in the signal path. All of this, plus linking. If you crave that heart and soul, you just found it, the Mix Factory.